Caitlin Clark was named All-Star captain. Why didn't they just make the whole WNBA captain and say everyone is an All-Star captain?
The other players in the league can't stand Caitlin Clark. I mean, it's baffling.
Caitlin Clark effect, the #1 backtracker.
Absolutely pure jealousy. It's jealousy, baby.
The one player that has guarded 94 feet all game.
It shows the envy. It shows the spite.
Yes.
Of players in the league. That's what it shows. It just doesn't. This is so beyond.
Someday they will realize what she has done for all of the players in the WNBA. Chartered planes, increase in salary, sold out crowds, improved TV rating.
If a team is picking up one player 94 feet all game, it means the scouting reports that the player doesn't like pressure, as contact, is slow or counterable.
This reflects the jealousy. It reflects the bitterness in the league. If a player is being pressed 94 feet for an entire game, it means one thing. She's either slow or a real problem. In Caitlin Clark's case, it's clearly a compliment, because if you give her any space, she'll dominate.
Absolutely pure jealousy.
It's jealousy, baby.
Someday they will realize what she has done for all of the players in the WNBA. Chartered planes, increase in salary, sold out crowds, improved TV rating.
If a team is picking up one player 94 feet all game, it means the scouting reports that the player doesn't like pressure, as contact, is slow or counterable.
The one player that has guarded 94 feet all game. Come on, man. That is absolutely not the reason. And that is a complete compliment to Caitlin Clark.
The other players in the league can't stand Caitlin Clark. I mean, it's baffling.
Other players in the WNBA can't stand her. That much is obvious. The hostility is no longer subtle. The moment she enters the court, the tension is undeniable. They're not even pretending anymore. She's upsetting the order, and that's why she's being attacked every single game. Too slow? That's ironic, coming from veterans she just outperformed. They're upset she's become the face of the league so quickly.
It shows their pettiness. It shows the envy. It shows the spite.
Yes.
Of players in the league. That's what it shows. So we're going to vote her 9th, and she's in her 2nd year. She hasn't earned it yet.
It's jealousy, right? I mean, there's nothing else. They don't have to say anything. This speaks for itself. The anonymous vote speaks for itself, where they're doing this out of spite.
The other players in the league can't stand Caitlin Clark.
This exposes their immaturity, their envy, and the clear bitterness from others in the league. That line wasn't random. It came after Caitlin Clark was ranked 9th by fellow players, despite topping the fan vote. It's obvious many players don't want to see her rise. Rather than uplifting her, they're intentionally trying to hold her back. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about keeping her in her place. What's unfolding in the WNBA feels more like internal conflict than professional competition.
Folks get on here and act like being guarded 94 feet is a compliment. It's not. If a team is picking up one player 94 feet all game, it means the scouting report says that player doesn't like pressure / contact, is slow, or can't dribble. If you're going to say it, stand on it. Most of the time, when a team is guarding a player 94 feet most of the game, they're trying to wear that player out. They're trying to wear on that player, right? Most of the time, that player can harm you as soon as they cross the court.
In a viral post, ex-All-Star Kelsey Bones suggested that guarding Caitlin Clark full court wasn't respect, but because she's slow or easy to stop. That sparked backlash, but it exposed a deeper truth. Some veterans don't admire her. They want her discredited. Instead of praising a rookie breaking barriers, they're trying to dismiss her as not good enough. It wasn't analysis, it was a dig, a quiet jab at her ability to compete on this level.
Absolutely not the reason. And that is a complete compliment to Caitlin Clark. Because if you don't guard her 94 feet or you don't make it uncomfortable for her to cross that line, she's going to do to you what she did to the Liberty. She's going to just pull up and smack right from 32 plus feet out.
Calling that pressure a compliment speaks volumes, because if teams didn't defend her full court, she'd take over. Fans defending her say everything, but the fact that they even need to shows how much pushback she's facing. They're not just doubting her game, they're trying to paint her as undeserving. This has gone far beyond stats. It's become deeply personal, and the entire world is watching it happen.
the other players in the league can't stand Caitlin Clark. I mean, it's baffling. I've seen some people trying to claim she shouldn't be in the game. She's tied for the league lead in assists, for crying out loud.
The players can't stand Caitlin Clark. That blunt statement came right after the All-Star votes dropped, where Clark got snubbed despite top-tier numbers. Even while tying for the league lead in assists, she still gets no respect. Rather than embracing her, many are shutting her out, and fans are catching on. This isn't random hate, it's coordinated rejection. Whenever Clark checks in, the mood shifts.
We say the players know the league. They are just doing this out of spite. Now, look at the fan voting results. Look at the millions of votes here for Caitlin Clark. You have Collier. The anonymous vote speaks for itself, where they're doing this out of spite.
As one analyst said, there's this bitter energy in the air. Players tighten up, officials overlook calls, and the contact ramps up. There's no welcome here. She isn't being guided. She's being targeted. This isn't rivalry. It's planned resistance meant to wear her down.
She ain't even arguing with the referees no more, bro. They trying to break her spirit. These players, they're already envious and jealous of her. So if you're going to give them an inch, they're going to take a mile.
There is so much pettiness, jealousy, resentment.
She's a threat to the current order. That quote sums it up. Clark didn't just join. She shifted the league's spotlight. And for players who waited years to get noticed, watching her take center stage is hard to swallow. That's why they press her nonstop. That's why they disrupt her flow.
There is so much pettiness, jealousy, resentment. All-Star game last year did a gargantuan all-time rating.
They guard her full court. They guard her when she wakes up, when she goes to sleep. 94 feet, 75 feet, hand checking, blitzing, physicality, rough her up. They throw the kitchen sink when they're going up against Caitlin Clark.
It's not tactics. It's resentment on full display. Too slow? That's coming from players she's already outshined. Veterans are pushing back because Clark threatens their standing. She's winning in ticket sales, headlines, and sometimes even on the floor. Claiming she's slow isn't scouting. It's a defensive move against her rising stardom. The league isn't lifting her, it's resisting her.
But they guard her when she steps off the plane. Exactly. They guard her full court. They guard her when she wakes up, when she goes to sleep. 94 feet, 75 feet, hand checking, blitzing, physicality, rough her up. They throw the kitchen sink when they're going up against Caitlin Clark.
It's unbelievable. It really is. There is so much pettiness, jealousy, resentment.
The players understand the game, but they're acting out of pure spite. That statement followed yet another round of all-star voting, where Caitlin Clark led the fans but was left off many players' ballots. When your own peers ignore your performance, it sends a clear signal. She's being excluded deliberately. The public might see casual competitiveness, but behind the scenes, it's personal. And the tension is building. You guard her full court because you don't want her running the show.
You pick her up full court because you don't want her to control the game. You want to speed her up. You want her to tire her out.
If a team is picking up one player 94 feet all game, it means the scouting report says that player doesn't like pressure/contact, is slow, or can't dribble. That's what the full court press is used for, man. To wear down on your opponent.
Even those criticizing her speed admit the pressure is strategic. It's not about her being slow, it's about stopping her impact. The too slow label doesn't hold up under real analysis, but it keeps getting repeated anyway, because it supports a narrative meant to downplay her from day one. She's breaking records while being defended the entire length of the court, and it still doesn't matter.
Broke the records while being guarded 94 feet didn't matter. And you have to guard her as soon as she crossed that line. She's on some Stephen Curry type of defensive attention, man.
If a team is picking up one player 94 feet all game, it means the scouting reports that the player doesn't like pressure, has contact, is slow, or can't dribble.
That response from a former point guard wasn't just support, it was a fact check. Caitlin Clark keeps delivering despite being constantly pressured. If anything, being guarded 94 feet proves how dangerous she is, but critics twist it, using it as proof of her weakness instead of her strength. This is personal. Just look into their eyes. The animosity isn't subtle anymore. Players aren't just playing, They're going after her.
If a team is picking up one player 94 feet all game, it means the scouting reports that the player doesn't like pressure, has contact, is slow or counterable. If they're being picked up 94 feet the entire game, it's because they want to be tired out. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that if you are a it's why they do it to Luka. If you're a heliocentric player, you want to tire them out. You want to tire out ball-dominant players. That is why they're picked up 94 feet. Not because they can't dribble, not because they're scared to turn them over, because how many times has Caitlin Clark turned the ball over dribbling up to the halfway line? I understand she did 2 consecutive possessions against the Aces.
The shots about her speed or toughness are often veiled jabs rooted in jealousy. The truth is, Caitlin Clark didn't just enter the league. She disrupted its comfort zone, and many aren't dealing with it well. They hate that she's become the face of the league. That line explains everything. Clark is dominating headlines, fan votes, and conversation, and that's exactly why she's under attack.
Caitlin Clark brings the ratings. She brings the fans to the All-Star Game vote. If you're curious, last year's All-Star Game voting for the 2 teams combined, all 30 players, 1.1 million, 1.17 million total votes combined.
When legends start taking shots at a rookie who's producing on every level, the issue clearly isn't about ability. Calling her too slow is just a cover. The real issue? She took their spotlight, and she didn't ask for permission.
The other players in the league can't stand Caitlin Clark. I mean, it's baffling. I've seen some people trying to claim she shouldn't be in the game. She's tied for the league lead in assists, for crying out loud. She's averaging 18 points a game. I mean, she's in a 3-game shooting downturn. All right? A 3-game shooting slump. And other than that, in the injuries, it's been business as usual for most games. And she had a triple-double this year.
She's tied for the league lead in assists, yet they act like she doesn't belong. This was said during an all-star roster breakdown, and it left fans shocked. Statistically, Caitlin Clark checks every box, but to some players, that doesn't matter. They don't see her numbers. They see her as a threat to their spotlight, their influence, and their grip on the league. Calling her too slow is just an easy excuse to push that threat aside.
J.C. Sheldon intentionally pokes Caitlin in the eye for the second time in the game. We covered the first eye poke in another video. She then gets up in her face as her eyes poked. Then, of course, again, like every time, all the other teammates from another team come over to attack Caitlin, and it's 5-on-1. And then you're just left with that. And that's how it is. And that's how it goes. Paige doesn't have to deal with any of this. Paige doesn't have to deal with any of this.
This isn't just physical play. It's targeted frustration. That quote came after a game where Clark took heavy hits with no fouls called. The roughness isn't random anymore. It's a tactic, a way to exhaust her, break her rhythm, and support the idea that she can't hang at this level. But in reality, the opposite is showing. The desperation to bring her down proves how real her presence is. If she truly wasn't a problem, they wouldn't go this far. Too slow. Then why is she beating them in ratings, contracts, and coverage?
They need to be on their knees begging Caitlin Clark to never retire for what she's done for the WNBA. And she's made this a profitable business.
Chartered planes, increase in salary, sold out crowds, improved TV ratings.
That point was made loud and clear. The claims that Clark lacks speed or strength don't hold up when she's leading in cultural relevance. Stats are one thing, but her impact goes beyond numbers, and that's what really stings. No game plan can stop the attention she brings. Imagine calling her slow, then watching her drop 30 on national TV.
I know she just had a game that was fire. What she had, like 32 points and 7 assists, something like that.
It's unbelievable. It really is. There is so much pettiness, jealousy, resentment.
Any professional player who has not exceeded Caitlin's earnings in 2024, which is $11 million, should keep their mouth shut about her.
That's what one fan tweeted after another veteran questioned Clark's ability. And they're right. The results speak for themselves. Caitlin isn't just keeping up. She's thriving. The shots at her aren't about her game. They're about her rising influence. And she has more of it than anyone expected. She didn't name Caitlin, but who else is getting guarded 94 feet every night? That's the point. Kelsey Bone never said Clark's name, but the message was clear. The jab about being slow wasn't honest analysis. It was shaded commentary, a hidden insult covered in basketball lingo. And the fact that people had to decode it says everything about how the attacks are being delivered. Calculated and indirect.
It shows their pettiness. It shows the envy. It shows the spite
Yes.
of players in the league. That's what it shows.
Because if you don't guard at 94 feet or you don't make it uncomfortable for her to cross that line,
But they guard her when she steps off the plane. Exactly.
These players, they're already envious and jealous of her. So if you're going to give them an inch, they're going to take a mile.
folks get on here and act like being guarded 94 feet is a compliment. It's not.
This reveals the jealousy, the bitterness. That's what it really shows. They press her full court because they're afraid of letting her take over. Give her an inch, and she'll tear defenses apart. They're fully committed now, locked in on tearing Caitlin Clark down. You can't watch this and pretend it's just about basketball. This isn't about speed, it's about fear. She's the new face of the league, and they're struggling to accept it. If you believe this goes deeper than the game, you're not the only one. Like, comment and share if you stand with Caitlin Clark,